Hey everyone, welcome back to 5-Minute Eats. All right guys, we've got an interesting little dish for you today. We picked this up at Sam's Club. It seems to be a new item. It is the Mama Mancini's, an original family recipe, Italian style sauce, and jumbo beef meatballs. 48 ounces, which is 3 pounds, for $9.98. These are fully cooked. You keep them refrigerated or you can stick them in the freezer. If you would like to know how to cook these, you can definitely check out our other channel, Food Prep Inc., where we walk you through how to make them. But today on 5-Minute Eats, we're gonna eat them for you and give you our review.
And I'm super excited about this. You know why?
Because of SiriusXM.
Exactly, because years ago we used to have SiriusXM radio, and this company used to have a million commercials, man. Every time it went to commercial, there was this company advertising it. And what I really liked about it was the guy would come on, explain the company, and then they had this really hokey song, and I don't know what they were saying.
I think they're saying the meatball lover's meatball, but it was very like stylized. So it was kind of interesting.
I thought they were saying, Mama Mancini, it's the meatballs.
Now, see, I always thought that it was the meatball lover's delight, but apparently it's the meatball lover's meatball. And I guess we all heard it wrong, right?
It was a very hokey song. I heard it so many times. I was wanting to try this, but there was like no store around us that carried it. And I believe they said you could find it in the freezer section.
Yeah.
And so when I saw this at Sam's Club, I was super excited. But this one, it wasn't in the freezer. It was in the refrigerated aisle.
Yes, exactly. And God, these are gigantic. They really are jumbo. And this is heavy also.
Now,
it's a very heavy meatball.
The packaging, they recommend, you can make like a meatball sandwich with this.
Yeah.
Which, that's a great idea.
It is a great idea. I do like that idea. I think you would have to cut it in half though. That's a big sandwich if you leave it whole.
So guys, if you're new to our channel, basically we review everyday grocery items. So before you spend your hard-earned money, let us tell you if it's worth it.
Look at how big that is. That's a huge meatball.
This is insane.
It is. Now I will say that the sauce in the pan, like cooking it, it did look like a nice, like rich sauce that was not too chunky, because I don't love a chunky sauce. So I'm hoping that this is going to be right up my alley.
Let's go for it.
If you'd like to support this channel, the easiest way to do that is using our Amazon links the next time you shop there.
Alright guys, welcome back. Our rating system, thumbs up we'd buy it again, thumbs down we would not. So for me, this is a thumbs down. After all these years wondering how this was, huge disappointment.
Now you know.
Now you know exactly, because here's the thing about this. The sauce I like, but the meat, it's just very meaty. There's no seasoning in it. It's just, it's very, to me, kind of gross. Don't like it. Like the sauce, don't like the meat.
That is
It's like they took just like a beef, ground beef or something, just made a meatball out of it. And I think it needs some herbs and, salt and pepper and all that kind of stuff to jazz it up. This thing.
okay. So for me, it's going to be a thumbs down. And
Sounds like you liked it,
I
but
kind of liked it. It's a little bit weird. So I wanted to give it a thumbs up because I really do love the sauce. The sauce is really good tasting. It's right up my alley. But when I first bit into the meatball, I was pretty turned off by the texture of it, because I took in my first bite mainly like kind of the rind of it, the outside, and didn't get much of the inside. And that was kind of slimy and a little like spongy. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But as I ate more of it, I was like, okay, the texture is a little strange, but it's all right. But I think that the texture, it has too much breadcrumbs in it. So it makes it a little spongy and springy, and it just doesn't seem right. Like, it really doesn't seem like beef at all. So that turned me off a little bit. So when you said that it was bland, yeah, I would agree that it is bland. If you taste it without the sauce, like if you taste the inside of it, it doesn't really taste a whole lot like anything.
because there's so many other meatballs out there that has a lot of herbs and salt and pepper, and it's just tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Why would you spend your money on this?
Yeah, now here's what I'll say about it. The ingredients, it is very simple ingredients. It says for the meatballs, it's ground beef, onion, breadcrumbs, and it says that it has Pecorino Romano cheese. I didn't really taste any cheesiness. It has salt, whole eggs, parsley, and pepper. So there is some seasoning in there, but I'm really kind of surprised that there's no like Italian seasoning kind of thing in there because it really needed it. It does not have a whole lot of flavor. I wanted to love it because the sauce was so good and I thought maybe the sauce could save it, but the taste of this meat is just a little bit off. I do think that the value, because you get a ton of this for 10 bucks, I think the value is good. I just don't think that the meat itself is great.
And let's talk about the size of the meatball. It's obnoxious. It's just too big. It's gotta be small.
You know, and to that I will say it is personal preference because they must not make things like this if people don't buy them. So some people out there in the dark corners of the world must really love a jumbo meatball.
Look, I get it. They recommend making this into a meatball sandwich, so I get it, but I think, you know, for most Americans, majority of the customers are doing spaghetti and meatballs.
Yes.
I think this is obnoxious, the size.
I would prefer to have a meatball that I don't have to like cut into a million pieces just to take a bite of, you know, but I think the bigger issue, like we've said, is the meat itself. Not great.
So guys, to sum it up, thumbs down, and if you guys buy from Amazon, use our Amazon link. The reason is when you do that, we get 10 cents, 50 cents, possibly even $1, which means we can continue to review things.
All right, guys, that's the video. If you like what we're doing here, definitely check out our other channel, Food Prep Inc. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.